Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. Senior developer, co-founder of EHG Mike held his normal Friday Q&A live stream on Twitch, which means I get to bring you Dev Chat 188. As always, Mike answered lots of great questions from the community and gave us 3 real Season 4 teasers. And we're going to start off this dev stream by Mike addressing the elephant in the room.
The only thing I guess I can say about if we're going to talk about the elephant in the room and timing of next season. Next season is the next major thing. So season 4 is our next major thing to come out. It's the next time you'll see like updates to skills and content and all that sort of stuff that coming out into the game will be season 4. So if you're looking for like what's next for 11th Hour Games and Last Epoch, the next big thing is season 4.
He is addressing this because obviously the entire stream people are asking about the expansion and the console announcement with PS5. He just wanted to reassure everybody season 4 is next. Communication is going to be around season 4, not expansion, because that is early in development and farther down the road. Update on achievements.
Can we get an update on achievements added to the game? The last thing I heard about achievements, we brainstormed a bunch of achievements. I don't know where it's actually sitting right now, but that is something that we've been working on for a while. In general, I don't know the state that the achievements progress is at right now, so I don't know when it will be coming eventually. It is something that we're working on. It is something that we are planning on doing. When that happens, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Achievements coming in the future. Now let's talk sets.
Will the changes with set items in season 2? Yes. Giving us the ability to shadow them was cool, but it still felt underwhelming. Yes. Will there be any future changes to them that you can share with us? I mean, we're going to be updating some existing sets. We're going to be adding some new sets. So yeah, there's going to be, I think part of the reason why it was not super like all of a sudden, hey, set items are a key part of most builds, and I don't know if that's necessarily where we want to get to in the first place, but where even set items are a key part of even a few builds, really, is I think has a lot to do with just the power level of them. So yeah, I think the system works well. We just need to bump the power level up on some of them and add some new ones that are interesting, things like that. We've been debating a lot recently on a few meetings about kind of some wacky ways to take set items. I made sure to pitch, there was a whole bunch of things I went over a few streams ago about weird ways to do set items. And I made sure that I wrote up pitches for every single one of those weird ways, and a couple of them are being discussed still. Hopefully they get approved.
Mike said new sets coming, plural, which means we're likely getting at least 2 new sets for season 4, and they are bumping and revamping existing sets. Big win. Krafton cash.
With the influx of cash from Krafton acquisition and the push for PS5 / the expansion pack announcement, have there been changes or improvements to content generation pipeline, which has allowed the team to be more ambitious in scope? Yeah, there's several new projects that have been spun up recently for like things we wanted to put into the game for a long time, and didn't think we quite had the development time to do it. We've been hiring a bunch of new people recently, and that's been going fantastic, and so we're increasing the things we can make. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we're making more stuff. There's lots of new stuff coming. Yeah, I think the volume of content and stuff we're making for the game is increasing, which is great.
Krafton with Krafton. They are finally starting to soften to this a little bit of auto pickup.
Rune glyphs, auto pickup, yes. I think that this question was a lot firmer of a no before. Since we do have more like tidbitty things to pick up. So there's more things like keys. There's more of these like little random, hey, that's neat. Ooh, piece of candy type things. I think it's more, there's a better argument for adding that system now than there was 2 years ago, for example. It's still not something that we're planning at the moment, but as there's still purpose to pick up these things. And I think part of it is just having like semi-frequent, like, oh, hey, that's a cool thing that dropped. I want to go pick that up. Action. Now I have it. And that action moment is right now it's I'm going to physically pick that up off the ground. But I think there's an argument to be made for that action moment being I'm going to walk over to it. I don't know if that argument is strong enough or not, but if you're going to make the argument, that's the argument I would focus on.
They don't want the game to be too zoomy. They want action points where you're excited to go look at something and pick it up, which I'm actually fully in agreement for. But when it comes to shards specifically, they drop so often and there is so many. And yes, I know they vacuum up, and I know a lot of times it's only one click, but it would feel so awesome that you run over and they just vacuum up by you standing on top of them, just like it does with gold. There's still plenty of things you have to look at and highlight over and pick up by clicking, but I think automating shard pickup would be awesome. Minions mentioned.
Right. Hello, Mike. Hi. About new stuff to submit. What do you think about adding item to turn locusts into a single centipede that grows in length and power instead of number of locusts? I think it's a fun option. I think people generally have been giving us a lot of feedback that they want fewer here's one big thing option and more here's a lot of little things options. So I think it kind of goes against most of the feedback we've been receiving lately. So I'd be a little hesitant to do something like that.
I've been on the rooftop screaming now for I don't know how long. When I play Necromancer, I want to play Necro Army. I want to have a powerful army that I command. Not one Wraith Lord, not one Abomination, not one Archmage, not one Retaliation Golem. I do think the play style of single minion is fine on Beastmaster, like man's best friend, has its own skill tree, has its own powers. I think that's totally fine. That's the difference, but that's not how you should play Necromancer. What Mike is playing right now on screen is what should be the meta for Necro. Teaser number 1, and this actually gives us a lot of insight into Season 4.
So this is something from Season 4 that will happen before Elio. I always want to just call it Leo. All right, there we go. Little teaser video.
Mastered form, dexterity, 3-point threshold node bonus, glancing blow, attack speed, and movement speed based upon how much dex you have. You might look at this and be like, okay, Aaron, it's a new, threshold node for rogue, big deal. Well, now we know that it was either Blade Dancer, rogue, or Shaman was getting the update rework for Season 4. That question has now been officially answered. We now know Blade Dancer's time in the spotlight is coming Season 4, and at bare minimum, it is getting its new passive tree, but history tells us that if it's getting its new passive tree and it's missing a skill, it's also going to be getting its 5th skill. So I would go on record and give it 95% confidence. Blade Dancer, new passive tree, Blade Dancer, 5th skill. Mike talks acquisition.
What have been the benefits that you've seen from joining Krafton, and perhaps some of the negatives? I haven't seen any negatives yet, really. I mean, the negatives I've seen is like speculation on it, of like, because I think there's a lot of examples out there in other games that have happened where it is a really negative experience. And there's a lot of that are really positive experiences too in general. I don't mean Krafton specific, just like a situation where there's like a studio that gets purchased and things change and it's not always for the better. Sometimes it is for the better. And I think a lot, like the negatives that we've seen so far have been almost entirely around just speculation on what could happen or what might be happening and things like that. And that's, I think that's justified. And people have been, they have reason to believe that things like that are happening, and that's fine. And all I can do is say that's not happening. And we'll see if people believe it or not, and that's fine. But the positives are really great. So like we've been working on, like, the PS5 thing is a huge example of this, and because we've been working on trying to get the game onto PS5 for a while now. This is something we've been trying to do. This is something we've been wanting to do for years. We mentioned it in our Kickstarter that we wanted to do something like this, and we've struggled with being able to make it happen for a long time. And like we're actually able to be in a position where we can do that now, and that's, I think, one of the big things that has been really positive about our partnership with Krafton has been that process has sped up quite a bit, and we've been able to do the things we want to do. Like doors are opening that were closed before, that sort of thing.
Teaser number 2.
Boom. There's another one.
What's that? Deadly Mixture. This is a Blade Dancer passive node. You have additional vitality and deal increased damage over time. And the 3-point threshold node, up to 20% multiplicative on your bleeds if they have poison stacks, and up to 20% multiplicative on your poison if you have bleed stacks. So it's kind of a, if you want poison, you need bleed. If you want bleed, you need poison, but more damage. Teaser number 3.
It's a basic one, and that's okay. We have no plans to change the maximum limit of one primordial equipped item at a time at the moment. If you want to see that change, you can ask for it in the suggestions channel. I really wouldn't expect it. That is a very unlikely thing to have happen.
Why would it be so unlikely to happen? Because it would add tremendous power creep if you could have an Exalted T8 and a Primordial Unique. That would be insane. The third teaser is Grit, All Res, and Endurance. All right, everybody. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of Dev Chat 188. Mike, as always, thank you for your Friday live streams. The community truly appreciates it. Now, it didn't make it into this video, but multiple times throughout the stream, Mike talked about how they are actively working on a brand new roadmap. We currently have 2 roadmaps for EHG, and neither of them are accurate, and it's actually giving people the wrong info. So we should see a new roadmap shortly. Now, what I'm going to do is, my community, I shouldn't say my community, all communities continue to hound EHG that we are ready for a Barbarian. So, of course, Barbarian gets brought up at the end of this stream. Please like, share, and subscribe if you think I've earned it. If I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Don't forget to check out my new website, actionrpg.com. We've got tips and tricks, leveling guides, build guides, 37 of them, more writers. We're working on APIs. We've got an event calendar, news. The website is really coming along. Don't forget to check out actionrpg.com. Last but not least, my Discord, over 5,700 people in the official Action RPG Discord. We do game giveaways, merch giveaways, movie nights, game nights. Awesome place to hang out if you love all things Action RPG. I'm done. Mike, take it away.
Barbarian buffs win. We need to add a Barbarian first before we can buff it. Might as well start this question now since we 100% know it's coming. Glorious. I can neither confirm nor deny that Barbarian will ever be a thing in the game or not. I don't know. I'll tell you this: Barbarian will not be added to season 4 for sure. I'll say that.